The president cleared his schedule to deal with the Ebola virus as concerns grow in this country.
A second healthcare worker diagnosed with the Ebola virus took a flight just before her symptoms showed up. Amber Vinson was part of the medical staff that treated Ebola patient Thomas Duncan at Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital before he died. The CDC official responsible for monitoring her cleared Vinson to fly. WCCO's Jennifer Mayerle has the day's developments.
The latest person to contract the Ebola virus in the U.S. was transferred in a yellow hazmat suit from Dallas to Atlanta's Emory Hospital for treatment. 29-year-old Amber Vinson was part of the medical staff that treated Ebola patient Thomas Duncan before he died. Nurse Nina Pham was also infected. But it's Vinson's travel after the contact at the hospital that has officials concerned. She traveled on a Frontier flight from Cleveland to Dallas.
The healthcare worker number 2 should not have traveled, should not have been allowed to travel by plane or any public transport by virtue of the fact that she was in an exposed group.
As news broke, President Barack Obama canceled a campaign trip and convened a meeting of his cabinet. He wants to prevent what happened in Dallas from happening again and called on CDC SWAT teams to respond to cases within 24 hours to make sure protocols are followed.
So that they are taking the local hospital step by step through exactly what needs to be done and making sure that all the protocols are properly observed, that the use of protective equipment is done effectively, that the disposal of that protective equipment is done properly.
Now, that may help with the request from the National Nurses Union. Today, they called on the president to protect healthcare workers, expressing a lack of training and preparedness. Frank?
Well, Jen, Minnesota nurses made news today. I know they have a lot to say about this as well.
They do. You know, the union that represents 20,000 nurses in the state is also asking for better training. Members of the Minnesota Nurses Association voted in favor of a resolution that calls on hospitals to provide the highest level of protective equipment, such as hazardous material suits.
The hospitals are saying that, yeah, we're prepared, and we have policies and protocols in place, but it's very clear. Those caring for the patients at the front line, at the bedside, don't know them. And if you don't know them, you can't use them. And you certainly can't protect yourself or the community.
The president of the union that you just heard from believes the state will fall behind if a patient is diagnosed with Ebola here if something doesn't change soon. Now, a Minnesota company that is moving forward, 3M. In a statement, a spokesperson said the company is engaged with major health organizations around the world and are discussing specific needs for their products and providing technical expertise regarding personal protective equipment. And Frank, you may remember in September, 3M donated nearly 1 million respirators to their nonprofit partners to help fight Ebola in West Africa.
Yeah, we do remember that, Jennifer. Thank you. Meanwhile, the fear over Ebola contributed to a sell-off on Wall Street today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 460 points before a late-day rebound. It finished the day down 173. The Nasdaq dropped by 11. The S&P 500 fell 15.